The sport is sponsored by Dairy Queen. The Chiefs lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-28 on Monday Night Football. Chiefs dropped to 2-3. The Jags are going to 4-1 on the season. The NHL gets underway tonight with 3 games. You got the Penguins take on the Rangers in New York, Blackhawks taking on the Panthers in Florida, and Colorado Avalanche going to LA to take on the Kings. This report has been sponsored by Dairy Queen.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
No fluff, just facts.
Finishing up NFL Week 5.
Duval. The Jags have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs 31-28 on Monday Night Football.
What the hell?
No love in Duval County. Plus, the Padres fallout continues. We recap it all live from the San Diego Sports 760 studio in the Fletch Zone.
Let's get it going on a Tuesday. What's going on, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. We got a lot to get to today. Padres ownership has spoken kind of via a letter. We'll read a little bit of that to you a little bit later on. Chiefs choke it away on Monday Night Football. Sammy gets us a long shots winner. The Bengals get a new quarterback. We got it all coming up over the next couple hours. Plus NHL hockey. It gets going tonight. Chicago hosting a game. Chicago on the road in Florida. The New York Rangers hosting a game. The LA Kings hosting a game. Tonight actually might be one of those nights where we settle in and watch a little hockey. Maybe sprinkle a little lineup or two on hockey. I don't know. We will see, but we got a couple hours here. I don't know if I even have a partner today. My partner in crime, Sammy Long. Are you okay? Are you alive?
Brutal, absolutely brutal performance in my Chiefs last night.
What's going on with your boy Chris Jones? He decided he doesn't want to play football anymore?
This one hurts more than any other loss because it was a complete, utter choke job by the Chiefs. All 3 facets of the game was atrocious last night. I take that back. The offense was actually very good despite the pick 6.
Sure.
The defense, not playing Noah Williams at corner, who was the highest graded corner in the league up to this point, the rookie out of Cal. Steve Spagnuolo opts to go with Jalen Watson, Shamari Connor. That was an abject disaster.
I couldn't believe it. I was so shocked. I was like, Spags, what are you doing?
Chris Jones not even running. I mean, they literally have no timeouts left.
No.
He falls down. Chris Jones is standing there, and then special teams is a disaster. Jack Cochran getting two holding penalties, taking 2 really good kickoffs back, one to the 50-yard line, one to the 30. He needs to be cut immediately. Harrison Butker has missed a field goal or an extra point in the first 4 games of the season. And then, he doesn't last night. Oh, great. That's awesome. Harrison Butker's back. What does he do? Kicks the ball out of bounds to give them the ball at the 40-yard line on the final drive of the game. It was a disastrous performance.
Now, Sammy, for anyone wondering, because I missed the last couple minutes of the game, did the Chiefs end up winning?
Shut your ass up.
The Chiefs did lose last night. That puts a cap on an insane week number 5 in the NFL season. In fact, there were more straight upsets of teams who were dogged winning on the money line this week than there has been in something like 25 years or something. I saw a stat last night. So a wild week 5 in the NFL, week 6 shaping up to be crazy too. But yeah, last night, let's talk about it for a second here. And we got Kevin Acee coming up at 12:30. We will talk about that letter that John Seidler has written to Padres fans with Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, for a final time this season. Makes me kind of sad. We'll check in with Kevin the offseason, but today will be our last of the scheduled Kevin Acee appointments that we've had all regular season long and into 1 week exactly of the postseason. But we'll get to that at 12:30. Last night's Monday Night Football game, Jacksonville Jaguars, Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs jump out to a lead. Was it 14-0, Sammy, in this game?
Yeah.
14-0. Chiefs are looking good in the first half. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags mount the comeback. They get aided by a 99-yard pick 6 in this game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then the final plays of the game were where everyone's talking about it today. It was the most interesting part of the game, bar none. But Trevor Lawrence takes a snap at the 1-yard line after a pass interference called on the Chiefs, which was a pass interference in the end zone. Trevor Lawrence takes a snap on the goal line. He had 0 timeouts left, and he falls down. It's like he was a baby giraffe tripping over himself, and then stands back up, was never touched, and kind of just waltzes into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown for Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Camera pans to Liam Cohen, the head coach of the Jags, who's almost in tears at this point, seeing it's like, oh my God, we just upset the Kansas City Chiefs. And it was a huge moment. It really was. And there were Chiefs fans like Sammy all over the place who were pissed off after this game, rightfully so, because you go back and look at the tape, and Chris Jones, who is the all-world defensive tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs, who has quite literally won them a couple of Super Bowls in his time as a Kansas City Chief, he doesn't even play on the last play of the game. It was bizarre. He was playing defensive tackle. Not like there's a huge, insane rush right up the middle for him in the first place, but then he's just standing still as Trevor Lawrence gets back to his feet and runs around the left edge.
Why is Chris Jones a spy? The best player on the field.
Are you sure he was the spy in that situation?
That's what
it stop on the play? I think he thought Trevor Lawrence was down and he just stopped.
I mean, it looked like he was the spy because he dropped back after the first spy. I don't know why he would be a spy. I don't know if it was that he didn't give effort. I mean, this was an utter collapse. It was frustrating that they let this one get away because it was just the kind of mistakes that you see a team like Jacksonville make. Like the Chiefs outgained them. They won the turnover.
They almost doubled them up.
The offense, this is why people go like, oh, the pick six. Obviously, that was a turning point in the game. But I can't come on here and kill Patrick. I mean, the offense was humming.
And the Chiefs defense got a huge interception in that game too and probably got away with the pass interference in the process.
I mean, they had 12 penalties called on the Chiefs, 4 on special teams alone. That cannot happen. I mean, they gave this game away by letting them back in. They had the dropped pick in the first half when the Chiefs were up 14-0. Bolton and Tranquil fighting over the ball, which is crazy to me. Just someone pick it. I mean, it's just I don't even know what to say.
How many curse words over under in the last 5 minutes of that game were said at your house?
No, those words can't be repeated.
Were you watching with family? We know your family's also crazy.
My mom got mad at me because we had the windows open. Apparently there were kids outside and I was yelling certain words, and she's like, hey, we live in a neighborhood with kids. I go, they don't have to say it. I go, I'm in my docile. I'm in my house.
Sure.
I'm like,
we learned that on Breaking Bad.
If the Chiefs just didn't commit dumb penalties, I wouldn't be yelling right now.
Needless to say, Sammy's not okay. I waited until today to text you. Are you proud of me?
Well, I didn't even know because I put my phone down. When the Chiefs lose, I get blown up from people from high school.
Twitter was pretty funny last night at Fletch and Sammy. We had a couple different people in the comments. Rich McGuire actually screenshotted part of the show yesterday and was talking about your jacket that you were wearing, which was the Kansas City Chiefs World Champions jacket. So people understand what's going on here. We all were trying to give you space and let you have your moment, but today it's going to be ruthless.
I get texted from people from high school when the Chiefs lose, who I haven't talked to in like 10 years. And I literally get texts like random numbers go, Chiefs suck. I go, who is this? And then I go, oh, blah, blah, blah from high school. I go, that's crazy to me. I don't even know you have my number.
70470. Start your message with team. If you want to text the show all day long, you are more than welcome to. I will say, Sammy, you did get a long shots winner yesterday. We all have more money in our pockets today, Sammy, because of what you did. So thank you for that. And as they show the replay on the screen here of that last play, I thought I was overreacting when I saw
this off. I can't watch it
in real time. I was like, what is Chris Jones doing? Why isn't he moving towards the football? And then the replay has been a million times. It's insane. It really is. All right, let's get to the big three here. We do have a giveaway for you today. We got a 4-pack of tickets to How Low Scream at SeaWorld. I will tell you, nothing has been commented to me outside of this show more than the fact that I wore a no boo necklace.
Yeah, we were getting blown up yesterday. The no boo for Ben Fletcher. The don't scare me, Ben Fletcher at Hallow Scream.
I was getting texts from people I didn't even know listened. I was getting tweets about it. Our buddy Jamar was clowning me about it online. Look, I get it. It's fine, but when you go with family with nieces who scare easily, you need to wear the no boo necklace. And I'm glad that SeaWorld offers that for people. So if you want a 4-pack of tickets to Hallow Scream at SeaWorld, keep listening to this show.
The only caveat is if you get the tickets, please respect the tickets and not wear a no boo like Ben Fletcher.
Sometimes it's helpful. That's all I'm saying. All right, Sam, let's get to the big three. Smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
If you would like to watch the show, a couple ways for you to do so. On YouTube at San Diego Sports 760, on X at Fletch and Sammy. Today, Sammy is just wearing a plain white sweatshirt. No Chiefs paraphernalia today.
Unbelievable.
Can't believe it. All right, where are we starting, Sammy?
We're going to start with Monday Night Football. We'll start with the Jaguars. Should the Jaguars be the favorite in the AFC South over the Indianapolis Colts?
Look, they've shown a lot so far this year. They got a couple big wins, too. They did get a big win over the 49ers. Now they got a big win over the Chiefs. Those are two teams who have been perennial players in the postseason the last few years. They beat the Panthers in week 1, Bengals in week 2, back when they lost to the Bengals in week 2, excuse me. They beat the Texans, who are starting to come on in a big way. They beat the Niners. They beat the Chiefs. Jags are sitting at 4-1 on the season. It is going to be a fun race in the AFC South. When's the last time we got to say that between the Jags and the Colts?
I got to give the Jags credit. I was high on them. I picked them to win the division. I actually put a bet on them before the season to make the playoffs.
Trevor Lawrence with 2 huge throws last night, by the way. He might have proven a lot of people wrong last night. He was great running the football. Couple of big throws. That throw late down the right sideline to Brian Thomas Jr. was an absolute dart.
Again, why is Noah Williams not in the game? Jalen
Sammy,
Watson.
give Trevor Lawrence a little credit for that shot.
No, I'm giving Trevor Lawrence. Trevor
throw.
Lawrence is fantastic. First off, I'm not the guy on this show that's been down on Trevor Lawrence. You've compared him to Daniel Jones for years.
Look at their numbers. And by the way, both of them playing really well this year.
I have been saying Trevor Lawrence is a very good player. The Jags are a very good team. They even have Trayvon Walker last night. That defense is very solid. You saw what happens when Travis Hunter becomes an offensive threat. It allows Brian Thomas Jr. to have a very good game because he struggled early on in the year. ETN is running the ball well. Bashul Tutin looks good out of the backfield as well. So I got to give Trevor Lawrence a lot of credit. You've seen this year, you've seen guys kind of cast off. Your Justin Herberts, your Trevor Lawrences, your Daniel Jones, guys that were kind of left for dead, having nice seasons. And I think I would pick the Jags to win that division. I'm sticking with my pick. I picked them before the season. I think they're actually a better team than the Colts, despite the Colts looking really good so far. I think they're just a more complete team. And given that they beat some better competition, the Chiefs, the Niners, teams like that, whereas the Colts, to me, are beating up on some bad teams, as evidenced by the Raiders on Sunday. So shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars in that regard. All right, let's say the NFL. The Bengals trade for Joe Flacco today. They're trading a 6th-round pick, and the Browns are getting back a 5th-round pick. Apparently, they never called the Giants about Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson, according to The Athletic, reaction to Joe Flacco becoming a Bengal.
I think the Bengals just got better. Joe Flacco is a better quarterback than Jake Browning is. With Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, it makes me a little bit nervous about our Packers pick this weekend in our survivor pool. It really does. I don't know if Joe Flacco is going to play this week. Has that come out yet? This would be a
he is
fast turnaround. They're
on track to play him on Sunday in Lambeau.
That is a fast turnaround and a rough landing spot going to Lambeau for your first game with a brand new team. Look, Joe Flacco, we saw this last year. He can win you some games as a starting quarterback. He hasn't been great in Cleveland so far. His turnover numbers are fine. Like, he's protected the ball, but they just haven't moved the ball in Cleveland with Joe Flacco as their starter. So I think this is a wait and see. I don't know that I would rather have Joe Flacco as my quarterback than Jameis Winston, though. I would take Jameis 10 out of 10 times.
Of course. This is, you know what the Bengals did here? This is so they could sell tickets.
Sure.
Because they traded for a quarterback because the fan base is getting itchy. They're like,
but the tank job is still fully on.
The tank job is still fully on. If they were serious about keeping this team competitive, you would have traded for a Jameis Winston. You would have called the Niners about Mac Jones. You would have called, hell, Russell Wilson's better. I think Russell Wilson's washed, but at this point than Joe Flacco. This is something to say, hey, still show up to our games because Joe Flacco, obviously Browning is not it. They cannot move the football. They were a little bit better last week against the Lions, but still not a very good offensive showing the last few weeks. And this is to sell the team. I think Joe Flacco, this is kind of a lateral move. You just go from a guy in Browning who doesn't look like he has it and young to a guy in Joe Flacco who's 40 years old, couldn't move the ball with the Browns. Yeah, he should be a little better with Chase and Higgins and Chase Brown out of the backfield. But I think this is a full tank job. If you were seriously trying to win games, you would have called about Jameis Winston.
If you were the Cincinnati Bengals, would you be trying to move Trey Hendrickson at the deadline, November 4th?
100%. Because he's going to leave in free agency anyway.
Right.
So I think you call a contender, try to get something from him. They got to rehaul this whole team. I think it is, in a weird way, it sucks for Cincy fans, but it could be the biggest blessing in disguise.
Would you move one of the receivers? It's not going to be Chase, so would you move Higgins?
They should have done that already.
I agree.
Why did you pay Higgins? If you want to keep Chase, I get it. He's a generational wide receiver. Why did you pay Higgins?
I feel like the Saints and maybe even the Ravens, by the way, if they could flip somebody an aging contract, maybe Saints, Ravens, Bengals should be open for business.
Miami too. Let's go to Major League Baseball. So, shocker, 3 big market teams down 0-2.
What the hell is going on with the postseason in baseball?
Wild. The Chicago Cubs down 0-2. The Brewers, the Phillies down 0-2. The Dodgers in what was a crazy game yesterday. And then the Yankees are down 0-2 to the Blue Jays. What is the worst look? For what team has the worst look being down 0-2?
The Yankees are on the biggest fire their manager watch, I would say, bar none. Look, the Phillies, what the hell's going on? The Dodgers are a super team, sure, but what's happening with the big Philadelphia Sluggers who have been in this game? They've been in both games against the Dodgers, and they're just not figuring out a way to win. The Yankees have the worst look attached to them right now. Major League Baseball should be shaking in their boots right now and praying to God that the Dodgers can advance and win or get into the World Series, because at this point, it's starting to look deeply like a Brewers-Blue Jays World Series. Yeah-oh.
Yeah, that one is not good for the Major League Baseball ratings. I'm gonna go with the Phillies. The Yankees, I think Aaron Boone, I think you're right on that, will be fired at this point. The New York media,
Unless they rip off 3 straight.
No
one sees that happening.
But at least if you're the Yankees, you made the World Series last year. I know you weren't very competitive against the Dodgers, losing in 5, but you still made it. The Cubs, I feel like they kind of told you at the deadline they weren't going to pursue big bullpen arms when that was a problem. The starting pitching has been a massive issue for them. But if you're the Phillies, the Dodgers, at least the Yankees lost 2 on the road. The Dodgers just came into your house and won 2 games. Last night, they tried to give you the game. Blake Trinan comes in the game. They're up 4-1. He gives up 2 runs, gets Castellanos on second, and there's no outs. And they come in and they still beat you. They beat you 2-0 in Philly. And then you're sitting there going, this Phillies team, every year we talk about how Phillies, this team on paper, postseason experience, and yet they falter. They look like they're going to falter to the Dodgers. They faltered to the Diamondbacks a couple years ago when they were up 2-0 in the series, and they lost that one. The Phillies every year, it just feels like a choke job from them. Schwarber and Harper have really been terrible in the first 2 games in the series. I think if you're a Phillies fan, you're sitting there going, how is this happening once again?
All right, we're going to take a quick break here. We got SeaWorld Hallow Scream tickets coming up for you this hour. Coming up next, we are going to read some of these texts that have come in. I'm sorry, Sam, we have to read them. It's the text line. That's part of our job. And then we're also going to read you a little bit of what John Seidler wrote to Padres fans. We got Kevin Acee coming up at 12:30 to kind of read in between the lines with us, but we're going to tell you the statement coming up next at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. It's really crazy. Sammy keeps telling me these things. He's like, Fletch, I gotta go win $1,000 at the casino. I need to go bet $1,000 to win $1,000 because I really need $1,000. And I tell him, Sammy, don't worry about it, dude. San Diego Sports 760. We got 13 chances for you to win $1,000 every single weekday with the bonus bucks giveaway every hour from 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen for the keyword. That's all you got to do. Enter it at sportsSD.com. Your next keyword is coming up at 1 o'clock today. So if you want to win $1,000, put it in your hand and go fund yourself. Keep listening. Coming up at 1 o'clock, we'll give you the next keyword.
Our boss has already said I couldn't win that, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can't, but other people can.
Other people can.
So everyone listening to my voice right now, unless you are an employee of iHeart San Diego, you have an opportunity to win $1,000 coming up at 1 o'clock today. All right. These texts have been very, very funny. I'll start on YouTube. Our buddy Rich said, Jags must have been pumped up from beating the Niners last week. Trevor Lawrence hates the Fletch zone. Yes, he does, man. But yes. Niners have 1 loss. Chiefs have 3. So you tell me.
Let me explain one thing before we get to more text.
My God.
Rich, the fantastic text. The Niners are in the worst spot because you're going to win a lot of games. We all know that the Super Bowl window is not that's not really realistic.
Chiefs are in danger of missing the playoffs, dude.
At least if the Chiefs miss the playoffs, they're looking at a really good draft pick. Unfortunately for the Niners, what's the worst place to be? Picking 20, 21, 22. Just want to keep that out there. So have your fun today, Fletch. Because the Niners coming back.
949 text into the show says Chiefs need to trade everyone, not name Mahomes.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
615. Oh, Sammy. I could say so much, but instead I'll go with something positive. In spite of both your teams getting me knocked out of Survivor this week, I still love you and I'm still with you.
Shout out to that. That's Big Ray. He hit me on Twitter last night. Shout out to him. I'm sorry my guys sold you. Trust me, I'm hurting just as much as you are. I couldn't sleep at all last night. I mean, it's been a bad 24 hours.
949. Sammy just needs to become a Niners fan at this point.
Oh God, no, and sell my soul to the devil.
I mean, our colors are similar. 858. Damn, our O-line is horrible and can't protect our QB at all or create any space for our run game. Let's get a senior citizen statue quarterback and Joe Flacco as our starter.
I'm telling you, the tank job's on, man. They're just this is a putting a bow on the tank job, trying to sell it to the fans.
The Packers defensive line should have an absolute field day this weekend in Lambeau against Joe Flacco, who cannot move, against the Bengals offensive line who cannot block anyone. Which is why it makes me so nervous that we're picking the Packers this week.
Well, we haven't decided yet. Looking at our Circuit Survivor, there's not really another game this week
for sure
you look at that with a team we haven't picked that you look at and feel so good. Like if Green Bay, this is my thing. If Green Bay loses and we pick Green Bay, at least we can put our head on our pillow at night knowing that we went with a good pick. Like that shouldn't happen.
You know what happened yesterday in the Fletcher household? I don't think I've told you this yet.
What happened?
We got a package sitting on our front porch when I got home from work. And I was like, I don't think I ordered anything. I wonder if Kendall did. Which all the Amazon orders go through my phone because that's the one that's signed into the account.
Okay.
So I pick it up and I look at it and it says to Brock Fletcher, which is our dog's name. And I'm like, okay, I know I didn't order anything to the dog. I know Kendall wouldn't do that. She would just put it in my name.
Didn't you guys have a birthday party for your dog?
We did.
So you guys do seem like the kind of people that would order things for your dog.
For sure. It was from my father-in-law, Sammy, who sent a present to our dog, and it was a freaking Green Bay Packers jersey for the dog.
Wow. Shout out to, well, not that I'm a Packers fan, but that's making Ben Fletcher kind of squirm over there.
It made me squirm, and the dog freaking loves it, which makes me even more angry that this dog likes to wear clothes in the first place, but B, that he's happy in a Packers jersey.
So Brock Purdy likes chewing on Packers toys.
Yeah, Kendall said we're going to have to change his name to Jordan. I'm like, very funny.
Jordan.
Like Jordan
Love.
All right, let's read a little bit of this. So Kevin Acee is coming up on the show in 5 minutes. Do a little Padres full season recap. Plus, we need Kevin's help to kind of read between the lines on what this means. So John Seidler, who's the chairman of the San Diego Padres at this point, who has a lot of big decisions to make this offseason. And I hope John Seidler is going to the mic at some point very, very soon so that the San Diego media has the ability to ask some questions because there's a lot that needs answering, man. Here's what the third paragraph in his letter says. While we have made the postseason in 4 of the last 6 years and had 2 consecutive 90-win regular seasons for the first time in franchise history, we fell short of our goal to win a World Series championship. Our elimination in the wild card round was a disappointment and exposed areas where we must improve. As we look forward to 2026, our goal remains the same, but we need to get better to accomplish that goal. The process of getting better will begin immediately as we perform a thorough review of our organization with an eye towards improving and winning our first World Series championship. Now,
so maybe if you spent like it.
A couple ways to look at this. I think, first of all, most teams have something like this that come out at the end of the year if you don't win a World Series championship. Most teams have something like that. And the Padres have had very similar letters in the past because guess what? The Padres never won a World Series.
Right.
So from John Seidler, the way I'm taking this, I'm a little confused about still. I'll be honest, because I don't know if this is just a standard messaging that they have to put out and they feel like they need to put out, or if this is we are looking very closely at our general manager, AJ Preller, and whether or not he's the guy to lead us into the next few years.
We're going to know soon because it's a very PR letter. And
AJ's on a lame duck contract at this point.
They haven't extended him. But you look at, that's why some of that letter, I understand people's reaction being a little frustrated. It's like, you're acknowledging you fell short of the goal. The goal is not to make the playoffs now. The goal is to go win a World Series. San Diego's gotten past that the last few years. But yet, you didn't spend like it in the offseason to go really do that, to put yourself in a position to go win a World Series.
And
so
you can hide behind the lawsuit if you want for last season. That's fine. But is this offseason going to be any different?
Well, and if you let's say you fire Mike Shilton, AJ Preller, what is this organization shown the way they're going to go out and hire a hot shot manager?
I mean, Bruce Bochy's available.
Bruce Bochy's available, but do you think the Padres?
Would you sign up for Bruce Bochy over Mike Shilton?
100% sign
So
up
would
for
I,
Bruce Bochy.
10 out of 10 times.
But do you think,
and I don't even think Mike Shilton was the problem.
But do you think that the Padres ownership is going to spend the money it takes to get Bruce Bochy?
Lots of questions. Who would have answers to some of these questions, Sammy?
Hey, maybe Kevin Acee.
Oh, you mean the guy who covers the Padres? Who spends every waking moment of his life dedicated to covering the team?
Big Kev?
Big Kev? He's coming up next at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use promo code Fletch. Get a $50 in lineups right after you play your first $5 lineup. Every Tuesday is a Taco Tuesday on the Prize Picks app. There are promotions all over the board. There's discounts all over the board. Today is National Taco Day. We live in San Diego. It's like a national holiday, or it should be. But today is National Taco Day, meaning there are tons of discounts on the board on the Prize Picks app. So download it and start making some lineups. I love it when there's some proof in the pudding. So go ahead and head over to my Instagram story at Fletch Sports. You will see a monster lineup that I cooked up last night for the football game and a monster win, $480 already into my bank account because on Prize Picks, withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. I withdrew last night. Money's already in my bank account today. Using that to pay some bills. If you want to do the same thing and you got the skills, download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code Fletch. Get $50 in lineups right after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. And last night I was so right. Hopefully today at 12:45, Sammy's going to be so right. We will give you a $5 lineup so you can trigger that bonus. Download the free Prize Picks app today because on Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Per Shams Charania in New York, the New York Knicks emerged as the only team out to look at Giannis Antetokounmpo desired outside of Milwaukee in the offseason. They've been having talks for him between him and the Bucks, and it's expected he'll be moved between now and next summer. And the NHL gets going tonight. There are 3 games on the docket. The night game will be the Los Angeles Kings hosting the Colorado Avalanche at 7:30. Day games will be the Chicago Blackhawks and Connor Bedard in Florida taking on the reigning champions, the Florida Panthers, and then the Pittsburgh Penguins and Sidney Crosby taking on the New York Rangers at 5 o'clock. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 today. John and Jim will take over then. And right now we're joined by Padres beat writer of the San Diego Union Tribune, Kevin Acee, one of our best friends in the whole entire world. Kevin, you've been with us all year. Today's the final time, my friend. We'll get some off-season chats in. But how are you feeling a week separated from the Padres postseason exit?
Yeah, well, it's been 5 days. I mean, not that I'm counting, but they did make it to game 3. How am I feeling? Like, in retrospect, and I think that we all kind of forecast it to some extent beforehand, it ended for the reasons that you thought it might. The offense. That's kind of how I am kind of processing this right now.
All right, Kev. So John Seidler, brother of Peter Seidler, the chairman of the San Diego Padres now, he releases a letter to Padres fans.
Mm-hmm.
And we read that letter out loud on the show just about 10 minutes ago. So everyone should be up to speed here. But that third paragraph where he talks about looking at the entire organization as they get ready to go after their goal once again, is this 100% PR, or are they actually looking at making some big changes here ahead of the 2026 season?
I don't know that why it has to be right to big changes. Do you know what I mean? I mean, depends on what your definition of big changes are.
I'll get right to it. My big change, AJ Preller is the big change.
That's ridiculous. Unless something happens between now and say a couple weeks, that they just decide, like AJ decides he wants out of his contract, or they just decide that they can't, any sort of suggestions or whatever that all of them might have, it's just not going to work. As of right now, AJ Preller's coming back. He'll have an extension. He makes about $2.5 million a year. Try to remember where this organization is at. I think we're living in a time where, because these things do happen, then we are, I don't know what the word is, fearful, expectant, conspiratorial, that they're always going to happen. So there's not really anyone with any knowledge inside the organization that believes that AJ Preller won't be back. I have, every time I've talked about, look, you talk about things throughout the early in the off season, and if things go a certain way and people can't, they're button heads, or they can't come to an agreement, well, the Padres could write him a check and that could be it. Sure. But the idea that he would be gone because they lost in the first round of the playoffs is it's just not real.
A lot of people around San Diego are frustrated with Tatis and Machado and how they performed in the playoffs. What are the chances that either one of them gets dealt throughout the season or in the offseason?
I'm sorry.
Is that a no?
It's funny that we
Kevin,
go
that's
from
a big Kev, that's not
John
outlandish
Seidler,
to fans.
We go from John Seidler said we're going to look at some stuff to AJ Preller gone, and then we go from these guys underperform, people are disappointed, could they be moved? I love it. Wow. Yeah, no. First off, you got to think, who's taking on Manny Machado's contract? Who's taking that on?
Right, I don't think
on half of it. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think Manny's the one that people are looking at, but the Fernando Tatis Jr. contract, we were talking to Derek Togerson yesterday. He's like, if you're racking your brain about what could change, and not saying it's going to change, but the Fernando one would make the most sense to move. I don't know if that's laughable.
Okay. Oh, it's asinine. But we could talk about it because I realized this when I was listening in, and you guys, your updates are NHL and NBA. We have a whole offseason to fill, so I understand where we're going here. But like again, can we, besides because Derek or you guys or whoever proffered that is not wrong. That's not wrong. Like if you had to look at all the contracts, that's not wrong. That doesn't then make it right. Like that doesn't then make it like that makes any sense to anyone. Now, like if someone came and blew them away, we could fill almost the entire offseason talking about why that might be attractive to the Padres. If we had some specifics about that, and we could even talk about Fernando Tatis Jr. underperforming. The Padres still believe they have a guy with the potential to be the best player in Major League Baseball. The Padres decision makers still believe that for whatever reasons, be they the philosophy of the team, other things going on with Fernando having a quote unquote down year, which I guess we don't have to put it in quotes. If you're talking about a player who might be the best in baseball, then it was a down year, for sure. But like when you have people in the organization talking about, we believe this guy is still a few clicks away from being for a number of years, one of the best, if not the best player in Major League Baseball. Think about what that's going to take to get him from the Padres, especially at a reasonable contract.
So if it's not Tatis, the Tatis question comes from reloading the farm system because it's so barren. Is there anyone else besides Machado or Tatis that could be traded?
So then, guys, again, so we're reloading the farm system. We're not competing for a championship.
No, Kev, you're right.
Who else is there to trade? They kind of traded everyone in the farm system to try to get to a championship.
But if you've been paying attention going along here, and I love that we're combating, this is great. It's a good way for me to start my offseason. If you're following along, AJ Preller believes he and his staff can keep doing this. And yeah, eventually, I mean, I've said it almost every single time I talk about it. They're going to have to pay up. Like it's going to run out. I mean, they're not like the first people to, they're not like the smartest people ever to run a baseball organization. They're not going to beat reality. Eventually, it's going to run out. Trading Leo DeVries, a huge hit. Trading the entire first 6 picks or whatever from 2024. I'm not right about that, but it's like they basically traded half their draft class from a year ago. Like these are things that are going to catch up to them, but in no way, like I think that, and I barely started to get my arms around it. I believe there are some moves coming. There are some, like all these people that we're thinking are going to be here next year. They might not be here next year, but the idea that Tatis would be turned to be able to get some prospects, well, then you're telling me what you're telling me, unless you could talk me out of it, you're punting on 2026, probably on 2027. Oh, so now what you're telling me is you're punting on the last few viable years of Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts. You're punting on the last couple of years of Joe Musgrove's contract, the last year of Nick Pivetta, the last year of Jason Adam. You're punting on the trade you made for Mason Miller and Freddie Fermin. I mean, it's when we throw. Here's the thing where Kevin, who has to follow the team every day, who has to deal in reality, when I hear some of these things that are fun to talk about, I have to push back immediately and go, we got to deal in reality here, because every one of these things has another domino. And like you're trading Fernando Tatis Jr. for prospects, adios 26. And then that, I mean, that's just ridiculous.
No, you're right. And the domino effect is 100% real. And I think that's why we ask, because that's what the fans are talking about right now, Kev. And so I'm glad you're throwing some clarity on this. And the domino effect is absolutely real. But I think where fans are at, Kev, and you tell me if they're wrong with this, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of part of this too. If you're expecting to go back with Fernando and Manny and Xander and Mason Miller, why should fans expect that next year is going to be any different?
So let's try to be separate, and let's try, because I'm understanding this. In no way is me pushing back on kind of the outlandish things, or at least trying to put them in the proper perspective, because I'd be an idiot to rule out anything with AJ Preller and the Padres. So for at least trying to put in perspective, okay, if you're talking about trading Fernando, here's the reality. If you're talking about getting rid of AJ Preller, here's the reality. Whatever. Let's just talk about all the tentacles around it. Now, if we're going to talk about next year, so you mean running back a 90-win season? I'm not saying they're going to. There are troubling signs about the trend marker of this team. I'm just saying, like, what are we disappointed in here? Like, that they were 1-out in the playoffs. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. And I wrote the other day, like, they've either got to, it's an and/or, change the philosophy and/or add some power. And it's probably both to some extent, right? So that's what you need to expect, that they add, because you can't just keep talking about moving guys. You're not moving those contracts. You're just not. And those are your guys. And they're actually some pretty decent guys. So who are you going to have around them? And they need to, whether that's first base and or DH, they need to get some slug potential in there. I think you've got a really solid bench start with Gavin Sheets. And you need to find some more power. And maybe you need to decide that, Petco be damned. We're gonna have a team that hits more home runs. We might strike out some more, yada yada, or not. I'm just saying those are the kind of things they need to evaluate. But when we talk about change and what a disastrous, like, I'm getting emails about this debacle, this collapse, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, someone educate me where the collapse was. Like, yeah.
I think people are just frustrated that it feels like the same team comes back every year and it's the same thing. So if the big contracts aren't on the move, where are they going to be able to add? So you're telling me, like, Salas is gone? Like, that's the next prospect that's gone?
I don't know. Wouldn't be surprised. But because I'd be silly to think that him or Schoolcraft or any other couple, 3 others that they think, but also, like, we're also reacting to, so what do they have, the 30th ranked farm system in major leagues now or something like that? Well, a couple of years ago, we were told they were garbage in the farm system, and look what they've been able to do with it the last 2 trade deadlines. So, like, I'm not saying they're any better. I have no idea, but neither do the people freaking ranking these things, okay? So, like, there's players that they can turn over. So now there's something else that you just said, Sam, that was like, oh, the same team coming back. Is it? Okay, and then if it is, so then you weren't celebrating the multi-year contracts. Like one team wins the World Series and the rest of us that cover or follow as fans, invest their money, invest their time, invest their heart, we are pissed. Right? Or we're looking for answers, right? But they're not like burn the freaking place down, which is what I'm hearing. So, and it's also not, and I'm not gonna like get into quoting Mike Schilt, but it's also not sky is falling. There are I don't want to say major, because major leads you to believe certain things. There are changes that need to be made. There are additions that need to be made. There might be subtractions that need to be made, but 183 wins over the last 2 seasons, a really weird end to the 24 playoffs. How the Stars are performing in the postseason, that needs to be addressed. I don't know the fix. I mean, if I did, I don't know. Like, even the people running the team don't have that fix. So there are changes, but like the idea that we are just going to extremes here is not going to do anybody any good.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. Fans are ticked off, Kev, and maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Padre fans, they care this much. Well, Kev, are you going into a deep dark hole for the offseason? When are you taking time off?
Not really sure. Just kind of assessing things. But yes, there will be a deep dark hole for a while. I have to, so that I don't snap at the radio hosts when they present me with outlandish things. And I need a little rest after that. I hope we're okay. I tend to have to and like to, by the way, deal in reality and like a little more measured analysis than this guy's got to go
for sure,
or whatever.
Unfortunately, I think the reality is, and what Padre fans, what I see, Kev, are that the last 2 postseason teams have ended the exact same way. And that's with the offense doing absolutely nothing. And so maybe it is wholesale changes.
Let's separate. This was a manifestation. This was, oh my gosh, this was what we knew. Last year was weird. Can we stop talking about 2024? That crap happens all the time. Like, can we stop talking about that? They are not the same thing, other than if we're going to talk about Manny's got to be better in the postseason. Tatis has got to be better than he was this postseason. Laureano got hurt. Cronenworth has got to be better than 0 for 11. They've got to be more balanced. That we can talk about, but like to say they ended the same way the last two seasons. Do you know what team had the postseason end 10 years the same way before they won a real World Series? The Dodgers. Like, now, did they make it further? And LCS? Are they, like, I hate to do that comparison, but it's like if you didn't think you were going to be disappointed at the end of this October, I hope you also bought lottery tickets and believe in pixie dust, because like one team wins the World Series and the other ones, their fans go from, celebrating to thinking that everyone in their organization should be fired. And that's where the Padres fans are now. And that's fine. That's actually pretty awesome, actually, to feel this, right? It's like you're in a bad marriage and you don't feel like, because you've just become numb. But like if you're in a really good relationship and it like isn't going bad, it gets you. And that's what this is. This is awesome for fans to feel this way. But like, hey, let's remember, spring is coming.
And hope springs eternal. We love you, Kevin. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's going to be a while until we get to talk to you again. You have a great offseason. Get rested up. Maybe a massage or two. I don't know. And enjoy your offseason, Kevin. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Kevin Acee on San Diego Sports 760. Brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. The Players Place.
Wow.
Listen.
Some prickly Kev.
I like Kevin a lot, but I think the city in our text line, we're going to read all these texts, is evidence of we're past participation trophies. And that's what, like, he keeps talking about how.
Look, everything Kevin said is right. There's a huge domino effect to any move. But
100%.
I'm ready for some domino effect, personally.
But, right, like, I don't think it's crazy when your stars go, your two guys that you count on year in and year out go 2 for 22 in the postseason. And then he's talking about complimentary pieces, Ramon Laureano being back. Other guys, like, well, none of that matters.
Right.
Jake Cronenworth going to be better. Why would Jake Cronenworth be better next year?
We'll talk about it more in hour 2. Coming up next, maybe Kevin should keep listening because he has a chance to turn that frown right upside down. We get a chance to make some money with Sammy
Money
Long,
time.
who has started a new streak. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Long shots next. San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. John and Jim will take over then. We got something we do called long shots every single day around this time at 12:45 or a little bit later if we have a Kevin Acee interview. Last night, winner for Sammy Long. Shota Imanaga, 3 strikeouts, which was a push. Blake Snell does go the required distance, and Thornton was your best call of the night, who had 90 yards in the first half.
I'll give you some credit as well. You went with the Red Demon over, so we boosted our parlay a little bit.
Actually, I did make a separate entry right before game time last night that I bumped up Thornton's number all the way up into the 30s, which again, he smashed and had a nice little winner myself. But this is long shots where Sammy Long gives out winners on a daily basis. Sam, are you ready? You got a lineup cooking? I'm
ready. We got some baseball. We got a little hockey in here. A little hockey opening night.
We are out of the dog days of summer. We are into the biggest time of the sports calendar. Sammy, smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance.
Pay that man his money.
With long shots.
All right, Sammy.
All right, let's do it. We got some baseball, a little hockey. First hockey pick, we're going to go with Connor Bedard, more than a half point. This is a young sensation. He was the number 1 overall draft pick a few years ago by the Chicago Blackhawks. He was the guy that was supposed to come save the franchise, kind of return it to its heyday and glory. He's been very good, but the problem is the team around him has been bad. I do think they'll be a little bit better this year. They're taking on the Florida Panthers. Cup night, banner night for them, winning 2 years in a row against the Edmonton Oilers. I think Bedard shows out. I think this is finally his year. He looks like even bigger at the press days. He was kind of skinny. He was like an 18, 19-year-old kid with all the talent in the world, but he get pushed around on the ice. So I think that he's a little bit more muscular now. I think he's going to be able to handle it tonight. Have a big one against the defending champs, more than a half point, so he can get an assist, he can get a goal, whatever it is tonight. He's gonna get the more than a half point.
I like it.
All right, then we're gonna go to Tigers, Mariners. We're gonna go more than 5 pitches strikeouts for Jack Flaherty. So they actually lose the Scooball game. That's what's so crazy about the Tigers. If you'd have said the series, they win game 1 in Seattle. It's looking bad for Seattle because you're assuming Tarek Scooball going game 2. They're gonna lose that one. They actually lose it. Jack Flaherty, this is their guy. This is their number 2 starter for the Dodgers last year in their World Series run. Very bipolar player. This guy can either be on and you can't hit him, or he gives up a lot. I think he's going to be on today. They're going to let him go ways because you got to save the bullpen for tomorrow if you're the Tigers, because it's series tied 1-1. It's going to go to a game 4. Jack Flaherty, more than 5 pitches strikeouts. I think he does it against the Mariners order. And even looking at the Mariners, they won the game on Saturday, excuse me. But 2 of them came off home runs. Jorge Polanco had a big day with 3 hits. They weren't really batting him around the bases until the end of the game against the bullpen. I think Flaherty does well and gets more than 5 strikeouts. All right, now let's go to the Yankees and Toronto. Carlos Rodon, fantastic pitcher, was really good against the Red Sox, won that game 2 for them in the wild card series. We're going to go less than 5 pitches strikeouts for him, and I'm going to tell you why. This is a do-or-die game. They're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at this thing. In New York, if you're the Yankees, you got to get one. You got to be somewhat respectable here. Not that you're in the chance of participation trophies, but the Blue Jays have absolutely dominated you in games 1 and 2 in Toronto. They were clearly waiting there, having the off week. I think Rodon, less than 5 pitches strikeouts, not because he doesn't pitch well, but the second there's any trouble, he's getting pulled immediately. Aaron Boone's probably going to be a little bit itchy tonight. They're destroying him on New York radio. They're destroying him everywhere there is. I think he's not going to be in the game super long. So that's why we're going to go less than 5 pitches strikeouts.
I like it. Quick recap.
Jack Flaherty, more than 5 pitches strikeouts. Carlos Rodon for the Yankees, less than 5 pitches strikeouts. Connor Bedard, Chicago Blackhawks forward, more than a half point against the defending champs, Florida Panthers.
Do I smell a little winning streak coming, Sammy?
We had a little winning streak last night. We did pretty well the week before, actually.
Are you disappointed that you won in a game that the Chiefs lost?
I'll be honest with the people of San Diego. I would have much rather had the lineup lose and the Chiefs win.
Wow.
I totally forgot about the long shots lineup, and Ben texted me because I was in a deep, dark depression. And he told me that we won. I was like, okay, that's good. At least other people had success last night.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We got plenty of texts coming in from the Kevin Acee interview, so we will read all of those on the other side. We'll also, if you missed it, read a little bit of what John Seidler had to say in his letter to Padres fans. And we will get more into what happened last night on Monday Night Football, plus take our first looks forward at week number 6 of the NFL season. My God, it's going by so fast. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. Before we go, Sammy, we got to give away some tickets. How about a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld for Hallow Scream.
And you cannot wear the no boo necklace.
You absolutely can, especially if you're a family that has kids. It might be the way to go. Hallow Scream at SeaWorld in San Diego. This year, new horrors have awakened with 5 haunted houses, 8 terrifying scare zones, hidden speakeasies, and the shrills of coasters after dark. Select nights now through November 1st. Get tickets now at SeaWorld.com/San Diego. Caller number 7 at 877-767-4760. Tell Sammy I said hi. Sammy, can I get a terrified scream real quick from you? Perfect. Oh my God, that was so much better than I thought it'd be. Talk to Sammy, baby. Hour 2 coming up next.
This board is sponsored by Lowe's. Apparently, the Knicks and the Milwaukee Bucks were interested in a trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo per Shams Charania. They have not worked one out yet, but it's expected per Brian Windhorst that he will get dealt this year or next summer. And the NHL gets going tonight. 3-game slate, 2:00. Chicago Blackhawks taking on the Florida Panthers, defending champs in Florida. Then you got the Pittsburgh Penguins going into New York to take on the Rangers at 5:00, and the Colorado Avalanche taking on the LA Kings at 7:30. Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them. So we're helping you with deals on top brands like Scott's, Pit Boss, Cobalt, and Trex Decking. So get to Lowe's, get it done, and earn your Sunday. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
Welcome to the Flex Zone.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
No fluff, just facts.
Finishing up NFL Week 5.
Duval. The Jags have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs 31-28 from Monday Night Football.
What the hell?
No love in Duval County. Plus, the Padres fallout continues. We recap it all live from the San Diego Sports 760 studio in the Fletch Zone.
All right, let's get it going. It's hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you until 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. Wild day here in San Diego. John Seidler released that statement a little bit earlier. That's kind of been a big topic of conversation on the show. We'll get back to the NFL in just a little bit, but the text line blowing up after our Acee interview. If you missed it, it's going to be available on the podcast a little bit later on. Kevin, us, a little prickly today. And I think a lot of Padre fans feeling a little prickly today after another exit from the postseason. We got a long offseason to go. We'll see if the storyline of the lawsuit pops back up again this offseason, Sammy, between Shields, Seidler, and the Seidler brothers who are controlling the team right now. John Seidler, the chairman. This is going to be a long offseason, maybe even longer than last offseason, which is crazy to say. But let's read some of these texts that were from our interview with Kevin a little bit earlier. 858, Acee is wrong to laugh about trading Tatis. If they can get someone to bite, they should absolutely trade him. 858, I would probably disagree with trading Fernando Tatis Jr. If I'm being completely honest. I think the potential he has in front of him is huge. The only way you trade Tatis is if you in the Padres front office firmly believe that this team, this group of players is never winning a World Series and you need to start reloading. That's just my opinion, Sammy. Am I wrong on that? How do you feel?
No, I think you're right. So if you didn't hear the interview, it was at 12:30. I asked the question. A lot of people are frustrated about Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis. Is there any credence to them being traded? Is there any thought? Derek Togerson was on our show yesterday and talked about how he thinks the only option is to trade Fernando Tatis.
He said that's the only big move he could see happening. Not that he would agree with
right. He's saying he could see that happening in. So text line split. Some people don't like me for asking the question. Some people agree with me.
Yeah. How about this from the 7? What did he say here? From the 619. Sammy, what's worse, the Chiefs lost last night or your dumbass question?
The Chiefs lost. I don't think my question's dumb.
I don't think it is either.
When Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis want to play better, and when they go 2 for 22 in the postseason in a wild card series, then I think it's completely just to be asking questions about whether the one continuity. I kept hearing Kevin Acee say in our interview about how honestly, people should be grateful the fact that this is the most success the Padres have had in years. I thought we were past that. I thought we were past participation trophies making the playoffs. I thought people had their sights set on for a city as great as San Diego to make and win a World Series. And there's been one continuity. There's been one through line throughout all that. It's Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. And no, they haven't come up big in the postseason, especially on the Manny Machado end. And I think it's a fair question.
It absolutely is. I didn't have any problem with it. Let's go rip through the rest of these texts because it is legitimately split 50-50, and we'll finish with a one that kind of sums everything up nicely. Let's go. 858. What drugs is Kevin Acee on? If the Padres want to win a World Series, then yes, AJ and Tatis have to go. Package a deal with Tatis. That adds Bogarts into it. Then trade Merrill that packages Machado and Darvish. Sounds like Kevin is satisfied with participation trophies.
I agree with that.
I would not touch Jackson Merrill.
I wouldn't. Hold on.
Fernando Tatis.
I agree with the participation trophies part. I don't agree with trading Jackson Merrill and guys like that.
No.
But I think that the mindset of that, hey, fans should be grateful for paying all their money for getting the postseason and crapping out every year is the wrong mindset to have.
This is rapid fire. Here we go. 619. Also remember how many injuries the Padres had. We won't end like that again, theoretically. Absolutely. Jason Adam and Ramon Laureano absolutely changed what could have happened in that first round of the World or the postseason. However, if Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. are 2 of 22 or whatever they were in the postseason, I'm not sure either of those additions makes a difference. 619. Acee not too happy with the boys' questions today. Come on, guys. Ask better questions. LOL. Signed Manny Machado. 619. He shut y'all up. Sure.
Well, we're still talking. So
if you want to think about it that way. 615. You should have asked Kevin if he thinks a relocation of the team is necessary. Jesus, man. No one is saying those words.
Yeah, we didn't say that.
619. Padres fans is broad stroke, gentlemen. The sky's falling for every team other than the World Series champion. If fans think the Padres need to blow the team up, why are they selling out every single game? And how do you think Yankee and Phillies fans feel right now? They have the ability to spend way more money than the Padres, and year after year, they have done nothing to show for it. Baseball is unique in that there is 162 plus games, and one time a year, fans completely overreact when they're eliminated from the postseason. From SoCal Jayhawk, who is a Padres fan. Thank you, 619 SoCal Jayhawk. You're our boy. Thank you for listening as much as you do.
Shout out to SoCal Jayhawk.
Okay, so when we say something like Padres fans are frustrated, have you been online recently? I'm sure Kevin, by the way, is dealing with our questions, the same exact questions.
Right, that's why he reacted like that. He's getting it all the time.
He's getting emailed those same questions every day by Padres fans. They have done a better job than any other team in baseball. Any other team in baseball at turning Petco Park into a place that consistently got 10 to 14,000 fans into a place that's selling out on a regular
100%.
basis. I will give Eric Grupner, AJ Preller, the Seidler family, all the flowers in the world for that. But if that's the case, and you're promising, which it was promised, that this decade was the decade of Padres World Series, plural, multiple, and so far that hasn't come through. So if you're going all in, go all in.
Well, and there's two things here. If you're the kind of fan that's like, and there's not a problem with this, by the way, what I'm about to say. If you're the kind of fan that likes to go have a beer and a dog at the ballpark, it's a fun date night on Friday night, and you just enjoy watching the Padres, and so you're like, why are you guys beating up on the team? That's fine if you're that fan. If you're the fan that's like, I'm sick and tired of watching this team underperform year in and year out, and getting the postseason is not enough, then running it back and hoping that they're not injured, or hoping that small tweaks is not enough. And like SoCal Jayhawk, I get where you're coming from.
Or hoping that Manny and Fernando have power in the postseason.
Right, they've shown you that Machado does not produce in the postseason. I know he had the big home run. Outside of that, he was dreadful. Like, I'm sorry, year in and year out, there's a reason why, Fletch, you made this point last week. There's a reason why Baltimore didn't sign him. There's a reason why the Dodgers didn't sign him. And then the Padres did. And Manny Machado's a Hall of Famer. He's a legendary player. But let's be honest, just like Clayton Kershaw has been awful in the postseason for the Dodgers, and trust me, if you turn on LA radio for all those years that Kershaw would sell the bag in the postseason, they're not just singing his praises. I mean, Manny Machado is a problem. And last thing for like SoCal Jayhawk, talking about the Phillies or the Yankees, I get where you're coming from, but guess what? Or the Cubs.
But they have a window every 5 years. And the Padres don't.
And turn on radio stations in Philly, New York, and Chicago right now, and see if they're satisfied with how their team's playing down 0-2.
And I would also, the Padres are in a little bit different situation, right? Like, the Padres window is a lot tighter than those teams because they will have the availability to go out and spend like crazy every 4 or 5 years and build up another roster that can go to the postseason. 858, best comment ever by Kevin. If you're in a bad relationship, just stay in and be miserable. I don't remember him saying that. And then they go on and on and on. Thank you, 858, for listening. Appreciate you. All right, let's get to the big three of hour number 2. We can get back to the Padres if the text line wants to. Hit us up. If not, we're going to switch over to some other sports topics. We got NHL starting today, NFL popping off crazier than ever. And so we will get to all of it later on this hour. Sammy, let's get to the big three of hour number 2. Go ahead.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
All right, Sammy, where are we going with hour 2?
Let's get to, actually, let's start with Bill Belichick. So North Carolina off to a, to put it kindly, a putrid start to their season with Bill Belichick at the helm. Paul Feinbaum has currently called him. He's on track to be the worst college football head coach ever.
All right, Feinbaum, aren't you running for office or something?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And then Fletch brought this story earlier, which I thought was interesting. Hulu was going to do a kind of Hard Knocks type look at Bill Belichick's first season with North Carolina. It was going to be on Amazon Prime, I believe, and kind of follow them alongside. Hulu has since scrapped it. They have since scrapped the documentary. They will not be doing it. Reaction to either the university or Amazon saying no on the Bill Belichick puff piece.
So let's pause real quick and gotta correct something, Sammy. You're right. The documentary will not be happening. Not Hulu's choice. The university's choice.
Oh, okay. My bad on that.
So the university who pushed for it is also the same people who are scrapping it, which read between the lines on that. Bill Belichick wanted something like this. I think he thought it would help a lot with NIL, but after the start that they've had, he's saying, we can't put this on camera, which is probably the smart move by Bill Belichick. However, my guy, how did you not know heading in that your team wasn't very good? And if you just have no control over what's going on here, then there's some serious problems. Maybe Paul Feinbaum's right. This has been a disaster for the start for Bill Belichick as a college football head coach. And man, we talk about the fact that Russell Wilson might have played himself out of a gold jacket. Is Bill Belichick going to coach him out of being the greatest coach of all time?
And it's wild that the whole narrative around Bill Belichick was that the NFL didn't really want him. That's what, like, when he got fired from the Patriots and everyone was shocked. They're like, Bill Belichick, guy who's won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach. Why is he not getting looks? And the NFL kind of told you something. And then it was just kind of assumed that he was going to come into college football and dominate. And I think what you're realizing is that there's a reason why college football head coaches don't always have success at the NFL level, and NFL coaches don't have success at the college football level always. It's a completely different game. Like in college, you're maintaining, especially now with the transfer portal, recruiting. You're sitting down with high school kids and their parents and trying to get them to come to your university. It's like a pitch job. And then the NFL, you're dealing with grown men with families and who make more money than you or are more famous than you. Urban Meyer found that out the hard way when he was coaching Jacksonville. I think Bill Belichick rolling into North Carolina, thinking he was just going to wave a magic wand and they were going to be a relevant program, it's backfiring badly. And I think that the person laughing the loudest is the NFL because they got a lot of flack for why would you not hire Bill Belichick. Jerry Jones got a lot of flack for not hiring Bill Belichick, and you're kind of starting to see why. I mean, he can't even coach college right now. What does he get? He certainly ain't going back to the NFL level. I mean, he's not getting a head coaching job in the NFL anytime soon.
Can I hijack your big three for one story?
Yeah.
We're going to sneak in real quick. Conor McGregor's suspension is upheld. The 18-month suspension from the UFC anti-doping program. So his suspension is officially going to end on March 20th, 2026, which means he is officially out of the White House fight, which he's been pushing to be on.
Well, this guy, I mean, what I believe was Marvin Hagler who said it.
This was a bunch of missed tests, by the way, a couple years ago that this suspension has been upheld. So doping.
Marvin Hagler said it. I believe it was Marvin Hagler. Said you can't get up and do road work in the morning when you're waking up in satin sheets. This is one of the legendary boxing champions of all time. Conor McGregor, all-time great fighter. Him at his peak, knocking out Jose Aldo. He ran through that division. The couple fights with Nate Diaz. I mean, like classic all-time fighter. He has built the UFC to what it is today. They would not be there without the brand of Conor McGregor. I mean, he's doing movies. He's doing all this stuff. Like Conor McGregor.
I like the movie Roadhouse.
No, yeah, it was great. And that's not knocking Conor McGregor.
He might be a good actor.
Conor McGregor has not fought in multiple years, and he on the Forbes top athletes list grossing, he's still in the top 10, top 5.
And what's kind of sick is the UFC fighters who are going today are fantastic, and so many of them would kick the crap out of Conor McGregor. Here's the problem: if Conor McGregor did attach himself to a fight, or if the UFC was willing to go attach him to a fight, it would still be the highest viewed fight of the last 5 years.
Casual fan, like my grandma knows who Conor McGregor is. She has no idea who Merab Dvalishvili is.
Your grandma sounds like a cool lady.
Yeah.
We should kick it.
like that's what I'm talking about. Conor McGregor brings a branding that some guys can't understand. You see this in boxing, you see this in UFC. Certain fighters don't understand why they might be a technically great fighter, but they don't sell. And some guys, look at Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has lost multiple times, except when Ryan Garcia fights in the boxing world, people tune in. Not just diehard boxing fans tune in. It's a shame that Conor McGregor is probably just done in the UFC. I would love to see him fight again, but I think it's frankly over at this point.
All right, we're going to take a break here from the 619, and let's just clear something up real quick. 619 texting in saying, Sammy, please give us a trade for Tatis that would make the Padres win a World Series next year. It doesn't exist. We agree with that.
Yeah,
we
619
agree with that.
619.
Neither myself nor Sammy Long are advocating for the Padres to trade Fernando Tatis Jr. What was happening was a question asked to Kevin Acee. Is there a chance it happens? Because it has been talked about.
Right. I didn't say to trade Fernando Tatis Jr. And to respond to this, I think that's the wrong mindset. The team is showing you what they are. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I hear the same thing all the time. Well, if the Padres are healthy next year, well, like another texter, 858 pointed out, the Dodgers have had the most injuries in the MLB, and they're currently the World Series favorite. I'm not saying it can't change, but maybe a reset is what is needed. They're running the same thing back with the same group of players, and I think if AJ Preller gets a haul, I think it's at least worth entertaining. I'm not saying I would do it. I'm just saying I think it's crazy.
The question was, is there a chance it could happen?
Right. I think it's crazy that when the two stars go 2 for 22 in the postseason, and then when you ask a question about is there any chance they get traded, and then people get frustrated at that, like they're not performing. Sorry, it's a fact.
All right, quick break. Monday Night Football we go. If you want to take your shots at Sammy on the Chiefs, have at it. Go nuts. Text line 70470. Start your message with team. Let's talk about that game last night and take our first look ahead. We see it in the distance, peeking its little head over the horizon at week 6 in the NFL season. That's next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. We congratulate all of our $5,000 winners in iHeartRadio's Think a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. There's still time for you to nominate a public school teacher making a difference, and maybe they'll be one of our next winners of $5,000 to make over their classroom. Help us say thank you to the educators who are shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. Deep breath, everybody. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. We did reach back down into our deep prize bag, and we have another pair of tickets. How about to go see A Day to Remember with Yellow Card on October 23rd at Petco Park at Gallagher Square. Tickets and info, visit Ticketmaster.com. Last night, Kansas City Chiefs going in with a 2-2 record at 500, needing a win on primetime against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Come up a little bit short. And I think it's interesting how they came up a little bit short, because this was a game the Chiefs were completely in control of early in the game. And then once again, late in the game, they had to force Jacksonville to punt in the fourth quarter. And Trevor Lawrence marches the Jags all the way down the field. Credit to him. That was a hell of a throw he made down the right sideline to Brian Thomas Jr. It was perfect. 2 Chiefs defenders there. Somehow was able to squeeze it in. One of the more impressive throws of his career. And then comes a 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Jacksonville Jaguars, no timeouts left. Game in within 1 minute, right, Sammy? There was 1 minute left on the clock-ish.
Yep. Well, to start the drive, it was 1:45.
Right, then, yeah. But within 1 minute when they were 1st and goal, no timeouts for Jacksonville. And Trevor Lawrence falls coming off the snap and is on the ground. All it needed was one Chiefs player to touch him, and this game was essentially over. Maybe they get 1 or 2 more shots at it, but time running off the clock. And instead of that, Trevor Lawrence clumsily gets to his feet, by the way, giving some time for Chiefs defenders to make a move, and then kind of waltzes into the touchdown on the left side with a little bit of a dive. That's the game-winning touchdown, game over. And then on replay, you see something in this game, and it's Chris Jones, who is all-pro, all-world, all-everything for the Kansas City Chiefs over the last few years, just kind of standing there, not making an effort on the play. And it led me to think, if I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I am freaking pissed after this game. And guess what? We know a Kansas City Chiefs fan, one of the biggest ones I know. His name's Sammy Long. He's sitting right there. What was your reaction seeing Chris Jones just kind of lollygagging through the rest of that play?
Well, it was frustrating. It was, I didn't know if the thought was to let them score, because you had 3 timeouts and you were just gonna like try to get down the field and get a field goal, because you would have only been down a field goal. But when he fell down, number one, what I want to figure out, and maybe we will, I gotta look at some spags and them talking today. It was almost like he was a spy, a QB spy, which makes no sense. Why would Chris Jones ever be a quarterback spy? He's getting paid $31.2 million a year to rush the passer, not be a spy. That's ridiculous, number one. And if he wasn't a spy, why is he standing there when they don't have a timeout left? So even though it looked like the game was over, is 1 yard line that's going to get in. If they go touch him, they got to get back to the line. They lose about 5 yards, and then all of a sudden it's a real game. Now you have an opportunity because it's from the 6 yard line. It was extremely disappointing. I was disappointed in the defense. I thought the secondary, Jalen Watson, Shamari Connor, really let the team down. They were getting picked on all night. The Jags finally found out, don't throw at Trent McDuffie, because why would you do that? McDuffie had a pick and then had a really nice bat away on Brian Thomas later. Really disappointing. The Chiefs were just sloppy. They were sloppy in that game, and they were messing around. They're up 14-0. They dropped the interception. Then obviously the pick six is kind of the certified patient, but it's hard for me, like I said earlier, to get on here and kill Mahomes when the offense was fantastic. The offense was outside of that play, and then Mahomes takes him down the field the play after, or the drive after, and gets him a touchdown. Special teams is a problem. They had 12 to 13 penalties overall, 4 on special teams. That's crazy. I mean, like, take away even after that. Let's say they score 23 seconds left. Brashard Smith takes the ball at the 30-yard line. There's 3 timeouts. So the Chiefs actually had 3 plays to try to get in field goal range and set up a bomb. And then what happens? Jack Cochran holds. I mean, it was just the kind of stuff that the Chiefs used to win games like this, when it was tight and it felt like the other teams would crack. An organization like the Jacksonville Jaguars is usually the team you look at to make dumb errors. And last night it was the Chiefs, and it's disappointing because they outplayed them in that game, and yet they're 2-3. That
is a early kind of running theme about this Chiefs season, is they're losing games in very un-Chiefs-like ways. Now, last year we saw the complete opposite. What did the Chiefs get out to? It was 15-1. It was insanity during the regular season last year, and all their games they were winning by such tight margins. They were kind of like the Tampa Bay Bucks are this year, where the Chiefs were just finding ways to win. And that was the fallback, is like, oh, this team is so good. Patrick Mahomes is so good at winning close game situations. That's why they'll be fine in the postseason. Now, injuries have a lot to play with it. I think age has something to play with it. Those situations where the Chiefs just need a little bit of yardage. They used to just have automatic yardage with Travis Kelce. And now that there's a lack of a run game and Travis Kelce maybe a step behind and Chris Jones maybe a step behind, because that could be the other explanation for last night. He was just tired at the end of the game.
Which is unacceptable.
Which is unacceptable. I agree, Sammy. But now I look to the other sideline and think about how impressive it was what the Jacksonville Jaguars did last night, who made a lot of mistakes themselves. They left that game open for the Chiefs on a multitude of different times, and the Jacksonville Jaguars were able to figure it out, and we saw a game-winning drive in a huge moment from Trevor Lawrence, which is impressive as hell to me. And I look at that division, the AFC South, which for years now, really since Peyton Manning left it, has been kind of a joke. And I'm looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars like, oh, they might have something here with Trevor Lawrence.
And you're looking at the AFC, you see a bunch of teams, because like we were talking
the
about,
NFL is so even this year.
It's so even. I mean, they like you look at the whole team, the whole NFL. There's not a dominant team that you look at. I saw the text.
I'll just read it. 703. Sorry, Sammy. Lloyd slapped those cheeks. Dude, Lloyd he might be defensive player of the year this year.
I don't know what we're looking at there. That was crazy. But you look at the NFL.
Lloyd was the guy who had the pick six on Mahomes yesterday. 99 yards all the way back to the house.
The NFL as a whole, the Eagles lose, the Bills lose. There's not a team that looks so much better than everyone else. And then in like the AFC alone, you have a bunch of middling teams that have flaws. Like you look at Jacksonville, upstart team, 4-1, get a couple big wins over the Niners and the Chiefs. Do we really think the Jags are Super Bowl contenders? I don't think so yet, but they're a solid team. Look at the Patriots getting a big win. They look like they're on the come. Denver has looked odd to me. They could be 5-0, but then also I feel like people are maybe a little bit over-evaluating them after the Eagles completely mishandled that game and should have won it. The Chargers were everyone's darlings 3 weeks into the season. They've lost their last 2 games. So if it feels like in Pittsburgh, you don't know, like they're kind of up and down, and at times they look really good, at times they don't. It just feels like this year it's very wide open, and there's a lot of cases for teams to be made, and I think we could see a lot of parity in the playoffs.
And we'll see, man. This is going to be a fun NFL season. There's a million texts here. I don't know what you want to do. A lot of people defending Sammy. First of all, Sammy doesn't need to be defended. He's a grown man. He can ask whatever questions he wants. I thought it was a fine question.
I stand by my question.
It was the right question to ask. The Padres were a huge disappointment this year.
I ask simply, is there any chance? What are the chances? I didn't even say they should. I said, what are the chances that Tatis and Machado get traded because people are frustrated online?
Which, by the way, is my number one question in this offseason.
Well, it's like,
are you going to make changes? Because we know, look, Peter's not here anymore. If Peter was here, this wouldn't even be a beginning of a conversation. The Padres most likely are going to be getting cheaper over the next few years. What's a pretty easy way to get cheaper? And by the way, get a bunch of young talent back. This is a logical kind of path that you roll down.
760, and I'm not just reading the ones offending me. I've read all these texts. Sammy getting killed for no reason. LOL shows a lot of our casuals. When was the last time there was a dynasty team in baseball? You know how many one championship teams there are, and how lucky you'd be to get one? NFL, the Rams, the Bucks, NBA, the Nuggets, and the Bucks. You can't just be happy hitting the same ceiling because you have superstars. Ask the Mets how that's going, running back the same core.
Look,
that's the point I'm trying to make.
We said it the day after the season. That's how I opened the show. I'm kind of ready for some changes here. We've seen this now play out multiple seasons in a row. I'm kind of ready for some changes here. I don't know. We also defended AJ Preller down the stretch. I thought his last two trade deadlines.
I do not think AJ Preller is at fault whatsoever. It's frustrating to me when we keep hearing next year. How many times can you keep running back the same thing and expecting different results? This team has reached a ceiling. They're telling you they're good enough to get to the playoffs. They sell a lot of tickets. Hell, they might win you a series or two, but we've seen over the last 4 to 5 years, have they won that World Series? No. And it's hard to sell to the fans next year who sell out Petco Park and spend a lot of money down there and keeping this team afloat to go, hey, we're back in it this year when it's the same roster over and over. You might have to take a step back to get forward in a couple of years.
I feel like I need to take a step back from the Padres. I feel like I need to cleanse this a little bit because it's getting frustrating, man. It is. It's frustrating.
I mean, last thing I'm going to say, look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I always use this as an example. You may not like the Steelers, but you got to respect that fan base. They are talking about firing Mike Tomlin when he has never had a losing season. A lot of places would go, wow, they get to the playoffs every year and they're relevant. But Pittsburgh goes, no, we are a winning franchise that expects to be in the Super Bowl conversation every year. So it's not enough. Yeah, I hope we hold the Padres to that same standard that other people do in other cities.
I would agree. Now, the worry is, and this is a very, very valid concern, Padres fans, very valid concern, is that these might be the last big contracts this franchise ever gives out. You don't have Peter Seidler, right? We know the team doesn't have a TV contract. So if that's the worry, if that's the big concern, then hell, hold on to all of them and just hope. Cross your fingers and hope. But that's not a great strategy, as we found out this postseason. All right, break here. First look at NFL Week 6 coming up next. Sammy and I, we have a pick for Circa next week. We're not locked into it. Some changes just happened in the NFL. We'll explain next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Gary Cooper over at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. You could call Gary Cooper today, 858-376-1299, or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. Gary, a couple weeks ago, you were talking about a teacher who you were able to get some crazy deal on. I think it was like $40,000. What were you able to do for her?
Well, there was a grant program that's available to all teachers in the Poway School District, and I believe it's also for the San Diego School District as well. So it's a $40,000 grant. You don't pay it back. You qualify for it. It's really, really simple. And it's for first-time home buyers. $40,000, you can buy anywhere in San Diego. There's no restrictions to it. And yes, my clients, Kevin and Carla, just went into escrow last Friday, using the $40,000 down as their down payment. They're using an FHA loan, and they're officially in escrow, and they're expected to close on the 3rd of November. But so far, it's been a really, really smooth transaction with that down payment assistance. So if you're a teacher, if you know somebody it is, spread the word. I can help you get approved for it.
Call Gary Cooper today, 858-376-1299, or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. Tell him Fletch sent you.
This report is sponsored by the County of San Diego Health. This report is sponsored by the County of San Diego Health and Human Services Agency. The NHL season gets underway tonight. Got a 3-game slate. Chicago Blackhawks are taking on the Florida Panthers at 2 o'clock. You got the Pittsburgh Penguins going into New York to take on the Rangers at 5. Then you got the Avalanche heading to LA to take on the Kings at 7:30. And Conor McGregor has been suspended 18 months for a missed test. He will miss the White House card next year in the UFC. And Odell Beckham Jr. says he accepts his 6-game suspension for PEDs. Faith, family, and health. Get vaccinated to protect my loved ones and keep our tradition strong. Call 211 or visit san diego county.gov/vaccines to find vaccines near you.
Coming up in about 7 minutes, we're going to be giving away a pair of tickets to go see A Day to Remember alongside Yellow Card, October 23rd at Petco Park at Gallagher Square. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. I'm pretty sure Yellow Card has a song called Ocean Avenue that's based on San Diego's Ocean Avenue.
They had a song on at the gym today. I was like, that's crazy because I knew we were giving away these tickets. I was like, I hadn't heard a Yellow Card song in a minute.
Text line, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Ocean Avenue is about San Diego. 70470, start your message with team. There's a spot on Ocean Avenue where I used to sit and
shout out to Yellow Card.
I like Yellow Card a lot.
We got Edgar who's going to our Hallow Scream.
How about it?
Edgar, bro. Edgar's the man. I talked to him on the phone.
What's popping? San Diego Sports 760. NHL starting tonight. Sammy's a big hockey fan.
Yeah.
You got any predictions for us?
I think I think it's kind of interesting this season. You look at, and for those who might not follow the NHL super closely, some interesting storylines. Like the Panthers going for a 3-peat, and then they've beaten the Edmonton Oilers 2 years in a row.
What's going on with McDavid? Is he signed yet?
So he signed, but it was a short-term deal. He signed yesterday. He signed a 2-year, $25 million contract in total. Shows you how crazy the small the NHL contracts are to NFL players and NBA players and Major League Baseball players. But so he's signing back, but he's kind of keeping his options open. He's really young. He's only 28, so he could be hitting free agency at age 30. Edmonton, it feels like, kind of runs the same team back out there every year. They have him and Draisaitl, but they don't really have a goalie situation. And I'm excited for this NHL season. It feels pretty wide open, and the NHL playoffs, kind of like the MLB playoffs, like anything can happen.
Correct me for being a complete casual, but is Ovechkin still playing? Or did he retire at the end of last year?
This is his final season.
Final season. That's right. That's what they were selling in the offseason, was be there for Ovechkin's final year.
Yeah. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited. Hopefully the Kings can finally get past the Oilers, but that's been 4 years in a row.
And reminder, every single Goals game you stream here on the free iHeartRadio app.
Hell yeah.
Just
go to a Goals game too. It's a fun experience.
Dude, Goals games are lit. Sammy and I'll go to 1 or 5 this year and have 1 or 9 beers at the Goals game.
And then you can throw the puck on the ice at the intermission,
Sure.
try to get in the middle and win some big prizes.
You know what I want? I want Sammy to do a puck drop this year. Aaron Cooney, if you're listening, make it happen.
Dude, what if we
drop.
puck drop? You and I.
I would love to. Would love to do it.
Dude,
Rich's kid got to do it one time.
Ornberger?
Rich Ornberger's kid got to drop the puck. Not Rich. Rich's kid got to drop the puck at center ice. All right, week 6 of the NFL season is coming up. I tell you what, you on first glance, there are some tricky games to pick in week 6. And Sammy and I'll just say it for everybody. This is the week where we could consider starting to sell our Circa Survivors pick. We're not going to do that. But with the amount of teams that got knocked out last week,
we're not going to do that.
This is the first week where you look at your supposed value. And Sammy, I'm honored to say that we've gotten this far. We have quadrupled the value of our initial investment.
We're at like $4,028 value. Bought in for $1,000.
Look, that's making 4 times your money right off the jump. You feel pretty okay about that. We're not selling.
We're not bozos though and selling.
This is the Leonardo DiCaprio gif in The Wolf of Wall Street. We're not going anywhere. We're riding this thing through.
So forget about it, cuz.
Paul Walker, nice. Fast and the Furious. I believe that's Too Fast, Too Furious. Him talking to Tyrese.
I recorded that drop last week and was waiting for an opportunity to play it.
Forget about it, cut.
Forget about it, cut.
The whitest actor ever in Paul Walker.
It's one of the greatest lines ever in a movie.
Bro,
Forget
you didn't
about
even
it,
have your car. So we're not going to sell our pick. Absolutely not. We are planning on taking the Packers this week. Now, news just broke this morning. Joe Flacco being traded to the Cincinnati Bengals. By the way, the Ravens just entered the trade market somehow. They just made a move, sending someone to the Chargers.
Yeah, Oweh, the pass rusher, is heading to the Chargers.
Chargers who need it. They're injured on both lines right now.
And then they just made another trade. They and then interesting, the Chargers giving back just came down Alohi Gilman, which is pretty actually good safety for them in depth piece, considering Derwin James' injury concerns.
So I wonder if the Ravens are going all in on trading, but that's kind of besides the point right now. The Bengals trading for Joe Flacco. Sammy and I talked about this in hour 1. It feels like they are just kind of doubling down on the tank job that is this season, because there are better quarterbacks out there you could have traded for if you wanted to try to make some sort of run. But I think the Bengals were sort of hoping Jake Browning would come in, at least steady the ship a little bit after the Joe Burrow injury, and see if they could get a few more wins. He has proven that's not going to be the case. So they bring in Joe Flacco, and that feels like such a barely uphill move for the Bengals. That's not going to make a huge difference, but will at least keep fans coming to their games. That I still feel okay taking the Packers this week, but not as confident as I felt yesterday.
And in terms of the Bengals, if they were serious about trying to salvage this year, you would have called the Niners and said, what do you want from Mac Jones? You would have called the Giants about Jameis Winston and said, hey, at least if you're Jameis Winston, like the dude's entertaining. You can give him that. Like he'll throw 4 touchdowns, he'll throw 4 interceptions, but he'll actually do something. Yeah, I feel like our circuit pick is looking at Green Bay. I think we've earned the right to have a safer pick because we've really kind of lived on the edge. We had the Cardinals, we picked the Seahawks in there. Who else did we pick? We picked the Colts,
Broncos.
We picked the Ravens 1 win.
Yeah.
Which could be our best thing because a lot of people have saved the Ravens thinking that they were going to be.
When are you picking them again? Especially if they start selling.
They're all hurt.
Pieces.
So I don't like looking at the games. Everyone's on Denver against the Jets. We already picked them.
There's going to be a bunch of people on the Chargers in Miami taking on the Dolphins.
That makes me a little nervous.
Risky.
Because the Chargers are a better team than Dolphins, but the Chargers offensive line is completely hurt. And we saw what happened this past week when Herbert didn't have an offensive line. I mean, Becton's out, Alt's out, Slater's out. You start to wonder if, like, in Hampton's now missing 4 games, Najee's out for the year. So you're putting a lot of pressure on Herbert and McConkey and them to get that offense going.
All right, let's go primetime games real quick. NFC East battle for Thursday Night Football this week. Eagles, Giants. Could you imagine the Giants pulling an upset there?
Jackson Dart, baby.
Cam Scatterboot complaining about his gloves. We'll see if he can make some sort of action happen there. International game this week is Broncos, Jets. Where are they at, Sammy? Do you know? Is it London?
I believe it's in London.
I think it's in London, but Broncos, Jets.
By the way, what a treat for London fans. Broncos, Jets, 2 electric offenses that are really going to get it going.
Look, at least the Broncos have Sean Payton, a historic coach, but yeah, I would imagine
it's in London, yeah.
They're not signing up for that one. It is in London. Sunday Night Football this week, a doozy. And I'm going to quote Sammy Long on this. As long as the Chiefs are 3-3 by the time Rashee Rice comes back, they will be fine.
That's why
the Kansas City Chiefs are 2-3 right now. Sunday Night Football at Arrowhead against the Detroit Lions.
Oh my God.
Could the Kansas City Chiefs fall to 2-4? Could this season start with both the Ravens and the Chiefs multiple games under 500?
Well, I've been consistent about this. 3-3 until Rashee Rice comes back. That's why last
the Lions win was not on that 3-3.
That's why last night's game was so frustrating because when the Chiefs are 1-2 after beating the Giants, you looked at it and went, okay, you're gonna have to win the Ravens. Or because the Ravens were healthy when the Chiefs played them, at least on offense. The Ravens or the Lions came, and you were assuming the Jags was W. The Chiefs obviously beat the Ravens. They lose to the Jags now. Now this is a big win. This is a really big game for the Chiefs. They cannot lose this game. If they're 3-3 with Rashee Rice coming back, the offense is going to be electric. It already looks electric with Worthy back. But if you fall to 2-4, you got an uphill battle because it's not like the schedule gets too much easier. And you just you can't fall to 2-4. That's unrealistic.
And then we got another doubleheader for Monday night. It's going to be Bills Falcons in the early one. Bears Commanders. Sneaky good matchup there. In
both Monday night games. I actually think that I think the Bills will win coming off a loss.
Falcons coming off a bye though, right?
Falcons coming off a bye. Falcons are good enough at home to make that game interesting. And then you look at first off, Bears Commanders is a fun Monday night game.
Huge. Michael Penix, Caleb Williams, both in
Jaden
Daniels, Caleb Williams, both in year 2.
And then you have the 2 storylines. You have Jaden Daniels wanting to prove to everyone why he should have been the number 1 overall pick over Caleb Williams. And then you have the Bears last year. Remember, they had won 3 straight games.
And it was the Jaden Daniels Hail Mary
that completely tanked their season. And you wonder what happens if that play doesn't happen. I think that Monday night doubleheader is going to be really fun.
Some other interesting ones. A battle for my heart. Not really, but we'll just say it is. I love Baker Mayfield. He might be my favorite player in the NFL right now.
Oh, he's playing your Niners.
He is hosting the San Francisco 49ers in a huge one. It sounds like Purdy, McCaffrey, Kittle, but no one was practicing early this week for the Niners.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Hit me.
If no one's playing, if no one's playing, if McCaffrey and all these guys are out, are we taking Tampa Bay?
What happened last week to everyone who took the Rams because no one was playing for the Niners?
It's fair. I'm just asking a question.
I understand the thought process, and I would probably agree with you, but we just saw what happens when everybody was on the number 1 picked team was the Rams this week. And the Niners had nobody.
Apparently, 37% of the bets, the tickets coming in, are going to be on Green Bay.
Yeah, it sounds right. And look, I still am safe with that pick. I feel good about it because I don't think it's going to be massive bloodshed 2 weeks in a row.
858 says Jameis to the Bengals was such an easy layup for them. I'm not surprised that they instead tried to move backwards and traded for Joe Flacco.
Well, they are the Bungles. They got that nickname for a reason, just like the Saints are the Aints, which is why Spencer Rattler's still their quarterback. We're going to see what teams are going to be moving pieces. I think the Ravens, it makes sense. You're 1-4. It's time to start moving some pieces. Try to get better for next year. Your whole defense is hurt. Even if the Ravens say rip off 9 wins over their next to finish off their season, is 10 enough to get in the postseason? I don't know.
I mean, it's a lot of middling teams in the
They
AFC.
set themselves back so far with this start.
Well, and you've lost tiebreakers to the Bills, Chiefs. I mean, you've lost the Texans, who are trying to get back in this thing. Like, if you're the Ravens, you've lost tiebreakers to all of them, so that's going to be tough. Now, it is early.
Who said the Ravens were going to miss the postseason this year?
You did. I give you credit on that. I give you credit. You did call the Ravens to miss the postseason, so shout out to Ben Fletcher.
Wow.
Whiskey, and you know what's crazy is you said Lamar would get hurt, which is a little odd. It's like you had some voodoo going on there. But Whiskey Bennett says Chargers rarely travel well east. Interesting. Guess
Maybe
what the game's at?
Dolphins
Where's the game at?
in Miami.
Could be a little warm down there. A little sweltering.
Miami.
Maybe some distractions at the club the night before.
Oh, yeah, sure. Justin Herbert strikes me as the dude who's going to be up till 2 a.m. at the club when he has Madison beer at home. Are you kidding me, Sammy?
I'm talking about Derwin, the surrounding pieces on the team.
Sure. Vlad McConkey, he's going to be lighting it up on the strip
going crazy in Miami.
He's going to go crazy. All right, call right now, 877-767-4760 if you're trying to go see Yellow Card along with the day to remember at Gallagher Square, Petco Park, October 23rd. Ticketmaster.com to buy tickets. If you want to win a couple, give us a call, 877-767-4760. All I'll picture the rest of the day is Lad McConkey with his bald spot going crazy. Down in South Beach, dude. He's going to be going nuts. All right, San Diego Sports 760. We'll close this thing up coming up next, live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. John and Jim are going to have a 4-pack of tickets to Hello Scream at SeaWorld coming up in the next couple hours. So stay tuned right here on San Diego Sports 760. I think John's also going to play back a little of our Kevin Acee interview. Is that true?
Yeah, we're going to get Kevin being a little feisty on air.
Look, Kevin, we think our jobs are covering Padres day in and day out are tough. Kevin is in it every day. Kevin was there.
He's entitled to his opinion. I disagree with his opinion, but he's very entitled to his opinion.
For sure. And we'll see what happens. It's not about being right or wrong at this point. It's about hoping that the Padres can do whatever they can do this offseason to make sure there's more success next season. All right, today's show did not go as planned whatsoever, largely because of that Kevin Acee interview. So I'm going to rip through 3 stories here. We'll react to them super quickly. This is like Fletch's version of the big 3.
Let's do it.
Do you see that BS that LeBron was doing last night on Twitter?
That pissed me off.
Okay, so LeBron does this big thing. He's like, decision part 2 coming tomorrow at what he said noon Eastern time, and then he ended up doing it an hour and a half early anyways. It was all set up to be like everyone thought this was going to be LeBron is retiring at the end of this season. Right. He's going to get a Kobe Bryant like tour around the league as a farewell tour. And then actually right after he tweeted that out, tickets for the final game at Staples Center. No, that's not what it's called anymore. Crypto.com arena skyrocketed for the regular season finale, thinking that was going to be LeBron's final game in Los Angeles. No, it was some dumb ad with Hennessy. Congratulations, LeBron.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed in LeBron with that. It's like, I feel like ever since Luka has been the face of the franchise and people are very excited about the Lakers this year, they got a real possibility to do something, but this feels like a little attention seeking. I get it. He's selling something. He's making a lot of money to do it, but
good for you.
I didn't love how this was handled.
Yeah, that's why on our YouTube and our Twitter video today, LeBron lames is the last part about it. Because I thought this was very lame from LeBron James.
I think it was too.
Now, other thing, also regarding the Lakers, actually, Luka Doncic going to be on Hot Ones this week.
Very excited for that.
That's the show where, what's the guy's name?
Sean Evans.
Sean, what's his last name?
Evans.
Sean Evans. He'll take a celebrity through like the spicy chicken wings and go all the way through.
Genius idea to like kind of get them just talking about whatever because it's so hot.
Jennifer Lawrence is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Did you see him talking about his crush was Keke Palmer, and then Keke Palmer saw it and went back on and kissed him on the thing?
That's cool, man. Sean Evans, he's figured this thing out.
Sean did.
So I'm actually excited to see Luka. Now, is Luka gonna be? He's funny, right?
Luka's funny. If you never really seen Luka funny, look up Caleb Presley's Sunday Conversation with him and Glennie
hysterical
with Luka. It's pretty good.
But I mean, Caleb is the funny one there. I don't know how much Luka really has to do with it.
No, yeah. Caleb and Glennie are the funny one, but Luka was playing along. Like,
yeah.
Some people don't get it and kind of are like, "What's going on?" Like he was laughing.
Now, how many Laker fans are going to be like, "Chicken wings aren't in the diet, Luka"?
Hey, chicken wings are protein. That's muscle.
Depends on if they're breaded or not. I can't say I'm a huge fan. Like I've never really sat through a whole episode of the Hot Ones. I don't know if it's breaded or grilled. Is it? Do you know?
It's that's a good question.
Luka, you better be staying away from those carbs.
You never sat through a full episode of Hot Ones?
I don't think so.
I'm addicted. I've watched gazillions of them.
The Jennifer Lawrence one I think I watched because it was so funny the way she was struggling as the heat got hotter. But no, it's not something on my like weekly appointment
list.
If
you just think about it though, it's a genius way to interview people because at first, especially actors and actresses, like athletes are a little bit different. Like they kind of just say whatever because they don't really have a reputation as much to worry about. They just play on the floor and everything. And if they win, they're doing good. But actors and actresses are funny because they're very like proper up front. And then when that like 6th, 7th wing hits and they're like sweating and they're completely like out of it, they say crazy answers on the show and they get it out of him. And it's like they always admit big things.
Maybe Jerry Jones should be going on Hot Ones sometime soon.
Oh, he would love it.
If you haven't seen the story yet and you weren't on your phone this weekend, Jerry Jones is in trouble, believe it or not, because he flipped off middle finger bird right at a New York Jets fan in the audience last weekend when they were playing against the Jets. Now, Jerry Jones came out this morning, I believe, on one of his literally a radio station that he owns and said it was inadvertent. He didn't mean to flip the middle finger to a Jets fan sitting beneath him in the game. He has since been fined $250,000. Sammy, I just sent you the video. Anything about that look inadvertent to you?
No, it looks like Jerry Jones 100% knew what he was
doing. There's the gif of the Padres fan, right? The meme of the Padres fan who points to the Dodgers fan and then flips him off. That's what Jerry just did. He points at the guy,
Jerry
singles him out, and then flips the bird. Dude, you are a multi billionaire with a B in charge of one of the biggest sports franchises this world has ever seen. And you are pointing out a fan of a different team and flipping him the bird? What are we doing,
Well,
Jerry
Jerry-
Jones?
Dude, this is why it's fun in the NFL when the Cowboys are at least decent. Because when the Cowboys are trash, it's like they're kind of people. They're still going to talk about them, but they're just bad. When they're like kind of decent, and then people like Jerry Jones start talking because Jerry Jones had to hear for a couple weeks. You tried Michael Parsons, you're a disaster, and now they're winning a few games, and then now all of a sudden we're flipping off fans from the owner box. Just
Jerry doesn't own this radio station, does he?
No.
Okay, good. Jerry, what the hell are we doing, dude? Come on.
Remember when he went on the Dallas radio station he owns and basically threatened their jobs to their face?
It was great. Like I took that personal, if I'm being honest. The fact that you think you can do that, Jerry, get the hell out of here, dude. Oh, the Cowboys are such a fun disaster. I love watching that ship do whatever it does. Maybe it sinks one day. Probably not. All right, John and Jim are coming up next. They'll have a 4-pack of tickets to Hallow Scream at SeaWorld. John and Jim will also have a pair of tickets to A Day to Remember as well as Yellow Card. So make sure you stay tuned for that. 4 hours of those two guys is coming up next. Sammy and I are out of here. If you got advice for us, hit us up on Twitter at Fletch and Sammy regarding our circuit pick next week. As of today, as of October 7th on a Tuesday, we're going Packers over the Bengals.
And ask John and Jim when they give away the SeaWorld tickets and Brent, which one of them would be most likely 70470. Start your message with team to wear the no boo sign so they can't yell at you and jump out at you and scare you at the Hollow Scream.
We're out. See you tomorrow.